concepts and what do they mean. So we'll start with the discounted cash flow. Discounted cash flow is exactly what it says it is. It looks at what is your cash flow, what is your cash profit in year one, and it projects that into the future. So in other words, what profit are you making this year, expected profits next year, all the way through to year 5, year 10, however far you want to go. And then it says, what is that worth in today's terms? So 100 Rand profit or $100 profit today is worth a lot more than $100 profit in 10 years' time. And what we do is we discount that back at effectively the inflation rate, so to speak, to say what is that worth in today's money. That's a discounted cash flow. The next term is earnings multiple. What is an earnings multiple? Again, the words explain it. Earnings refers to how much profit did you make. And there's a few ways you can do it. You can say, is it profit before tax, profit after tax? And the multiple may vary. And it says the value of the business is a function of how much profit you're making. So if a business is worth or making profits of 200,000 Rand, and the earnings multiple is 4 times, the value of that business would be placed at 800,000 Rand, by way of an example. So earnings multiple is what are your earnings, and you place a multiple on that to get to a future, or get to an expected value. The third term is net asset value. Again, look at the words, net asset value. It's the difference between the assets of the business, so your property, your plant, your cash in the bank, any physical assets, less the liabilities, in other words, money that you're owing to other people. So it could be loans, it could be a bank overdraft, it could be creditors. Sum those all up, and the difference between the two is what's known as the net asset value. In 2 other technical terms, what we call the discount rate. So when we spoke about the discounted cash flow, at what rate do you discount that? The discounted, or the discount rate, is that rate that factors in inflation, the risk associated with the business, and it says that 100 Rand profit 10 years from now, what is that worth today? So the riskier the business, the higher the rate of inflation, the higher the discount rate. And if you have a higher discount rate, it actually means that you have a lower profit. There's an inverse relationship between the discount rate that you're using and the valuation of the business. So the discount rate is that rate that factors in future risk and inflation in your calculations. And the last point is what we call the hurdle rate. The hurdle rate is linked to the discount rate, but the hurdle rate is the rate that an investor will look at and say, well, if I'm investing in your business, I need to be able to generate a return of X percentage return. And that is typically the hurdle rate. So somebody investing in your business will say, given the risk profile of your business, I want to generate at least a 20% return, for argument's sake. So the alternative would be taking that money and buying government bonds or putting it in a fixed deposit, which they might get a 10 or 12% return on, for argument's sake. But if they're taking a private investment in a business, that hurdle rate might be higher because they've got to factor in the risk associated with it, and you might have a hurdle rate of 20, 25, 30%. It's the risk appetite of the investor and what rate of return they want to generate. So those are some technical terms that we use in terms of valuations. When you unpack them, they're not all that technical, but if you understand what they mean, it helps you to understand what the valuation outcome is and how to interpret it. Thank you very much.